So Abdul Ayad of the H3 podcast attempted a video response to my video calling him out for him sitting there meekly every single time that Ethan Klein spreads propaganda advocating for the genocide of Palestinians, which in his recent debate with Hassan Piker led to him claiming that the Nakba, the Israeli genocide of the Palestinian people in 1948, was to blame not on the Israeli Jewish supremacist Zionists who carried it out, but rather on what Ethan called the f***ing Arabs. Ayad has not addressed this. In fact, a day after Ethan said that, he made a video in which he said that Arabs who criticize him for his silence during these moments are barbaric. And now, a day later, he's made another video not to criticize his employer for blaming a genocide of an Arabic-speaking people on f***ing Arabs rather than the Zionists who carry the genocide out. No, he's very angry at me for calling him out for sitting there in silence while his boss said that. Now, in his purported response, he doesn't actually respond to my video. Literally, he does not show a single second of it, nor respond to it. And when people do that on YouTube, it's intentional. They know they can't respond to you, so they try to make it about everything but what you said, to the point they won't even show their audience what you said. And the reason why they don't do that is because they know that if they did, they would lose by default. He has no defense to the things that I said in that video, so he needs to hide it from his viewers. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to begin by showing you what Abi Ayad intentionally left out. I'm not going to play the whole video, just the pertinent parts. So let me show you the clip here.
900,000 Jews, approximately 700 to 900,000, were forced to become Zionists, not by choice, but because they were forced out. The vast majority went to the fucking Arabs. The anti-Semitic Arabs.
There you go.
There you go. What? That's my point.
Here's a further demonstration of this.
And I don't know if your audience gets this as well, but what you just said earlier is not an accurate reflection of history. It's just pure racism.
How do you know that?
How
do you know that it's not real?
Shifting the blame over to the
absolutely
Arabs
was the blame of the Arabs.
When every single one of these Arab countries,
absolutely,
who their own version of pan-Arabic.
Abi Ayad can't show this to his audience. He would get fired fucking immediately if he showed these clips to his audience. And he actually denounced them or said anything bad about them. He is an obedient little house slave to Ethan Klein. Or sorry, that's an insult to house slaves, because he's not forced into doing this at all. And in this video, I further explain
nationalism.
Why this is so bad. Okay, so in this situation, a good test is to take these words and shift them about a little bit. What would Ethan Klein think if someone was to say, someone who he doesn't like at least, was to say, the fucking Jews forced the Palestinians to become violent? Or something like that. And then he kept going on to say, it was the Jews who did it. It was the Jews. It was the blame of the Jews. Because that is absolutely one-to-one analogous with what he's saying here. Except in my case, the historical facts are actually accurate. Ethan tries to frame this as some sort of like uniform expulsion by the Arabs of the Jews because he wants to justify the Nakba, which by the way happened before this, by claiming that it was merely a response by Jewish victims to what was done to them by this Arab collective, and therefore legitimize the mass expulsion and genocide of Palestinians by Zionists by Israel. It's an attempt to equate Palestinian with Iraqi, Yemeni, whatever other Arab country that he alleges expelled the Jews in order to say, well, what do you expect? They did it to them, and all they did was respond to it by doing it back to them, when the Palestinians had nothing to do with whatever happened to the Jews in those other countries, because a Palestinian is not an Iraqi. The Arabs is not a thing. You notice how he doesn't show that in his video? He doesn't dare respond to it? I wonder why. This is me calling him out for his complicity in this. Podcast crew in enabling this, particularly one particularly horrible member of the crew, Abdul Ayad, currently in Los Angeles, California, previously from Dearborn, Michigan. He also goes by the screen name Starkiller with an A, not an ER, and he also goes by the nickname AB. This guy himself made an extremely racist video the day after this debate, in which he denounced another Arab as a barbarian who does not conform to Zionist standards of what an Arab should be, and who thus needs to be denounced as a disgusting barbarian. So let's check that out. Before we watch this, I want to be clear here on Abdul Ayad's role in this podcast. Abdul is a researcher. Like, his job is to sit there and send articles to Ethan, which Ethan receives on his own little laptop, and then Ethan recites. So whenever you see Ethan like recite an Israeli propaganda article verbatim, there's a very high chance that Abdul here has sent it to him. And Abdul is someone who constantly claims to be pro-Palestinian, anti-Israel. He's a staunch advocate for the Palestinian people. And then he sits there in silence as his boss says stuff like the fucking Arabs, as his boss just spouts Israeli propaganda verbatim, saying nothing about it, not opposing it at all. He has absolutely nothing to say about it. But what he does have is a lot of heat for what he sees as bad Arabs. Not good Arabs like himself, but bad Arabs. Ones who are actually really pro-Palestine. Ones who call out the shit that his boss says and does to advocate for the genocide of Palestinians. Check this out.
You're doing a good job, man. You're doing a good job. I'm sure Zionists love you. I'm sure they love you as an example of us Arabs being fucking barbaric. As every fucking person on the internet, every person in the world wants to prove that we're nothing but fucking barbaric animals. You're doing a great job, man. You're doing a great job.
Okay, so that is Abdul Ayad right there, known as AB/Starkiller, denouncing another Arab for not conforming to Zionist standards of what a good Arab should be. Now, to be clear, a Zionist standard of what a good Arab should be is dead, enslaved, or at least on the other side of the world to the point that they're not that problem. Okay, I think I've shown a sufficient amount of that video. And let's see if he at all deals with anything that I said here in any substantive manner, let alone actually shows what I said to his audience so that they know what he's responding to, rather than him just responding to a straw man that he constructed in his head. And before we go on, I just want to note something very pertinent about Abdul Ayad and his role in the H3 podcast. His role is researcher, and I didn't know this until recently, but the way that he got involved in the H3 podcast in the first place is absurdly pathetic. Like, there's no other way to put it. He was like a teenager who was a super fan of H3, and he would make YouTube videos defending them in drama, like religiously defending them as a parasocial super fan. And Ethan Klein saw that, and he was like, wow, this guy is like totally enamored with me, totally obsessed with me. I want to hire him. And that has been his life ever since. He got hired specifically for sucking up to them endlessly. As a teenager, no less. Like, this was his first ever job, if you can even call it that. He has no qualifications, no skills, no nothing. He got hired to be a professional suck-up. And that is so absurdly pathetic. But apart from that, you might ask, what is his role here? This is this guy with no skills, nothing. Well, his title is researcher, supposedly. And what that means is, his job is to feed Ethan Klein talking points, both about the topics that he talks about and the people who Ethan Klein slanders and defames. So, not only does he feed Ethan Klein Zionist propaganda, it's literally his job to do so, but he also feeds Ethan Klein defamation. Ethan Klein constantly defames people on his podcast. And when that happens, in many cases, it is because AB Ayad sent that to him. For example, my first interaction with Ethan Klein was him attempting to defame me as a child sex criminal. And it's extremely likely that the way that Ethan Klein got that is that his researcher, whose literal job it is to find defamation and dirt on the people who he's feuding with, rather than actually responding to their points, found it and sent it to him. Here is Ethan Klein holding up a defamatory fake tweet made by a Zionist mass harassment organization to accuse me of child sexual abuse. This fake tweet and the doxing and harassment campaign that came with it resulted in people showing up to where I thought I lived in an attempt to kill me. What happened? As a result of AB Ayad's research into me, Ethan Klein saw that I was making videos debunking his disgusting Zionist propaganda. He asked in their little group chat they have, hey AB, you got any dirt on this guy? AB Googles me, he finds this, he sends it to Ethan, and that resulted in this.
He's like actually psychotic, and he's been making a lot of hate videos about me and calling Ela terrorist and baby killer and all this. And Hassan's been enjoying his videos. Here's a tweet from him. You guys will enjoy this. It says, oh, Hamas raped a bunch of babies and kids now? Where's the video evidence of it? I was looking to jerk off anyway. You think I'm kidding? That's a real tweet.
This is the work of Abdul Ayad, and this is not the only time this has happened. Here is a clip of Ethan Klein attempting to defame Hassan Piker as a date rapist. This almost certainly came from that group chat in which AB feeds him this sort of information, and Ethan Klein just offhandedly said it on his podcast.
Bro is straight up in that like Lebowski, Big Lebowski, like sex predator vibe. He looks like someone at a Big Lebowski party, where he...
Jackie Treehorn?
Yeah, he looks like he's at a Jackie Treehorn party. Fucking drunk women. Which surprisingly doesn't seem too far off from what he actually does do. Or has done, at least.
Where do you think Ethan got that from? maybe his researcher. There are countless examples of this. But basically, if you've been defamed, insulted, attacked on the H3 podcast, Abi Ayad had a direct hand in that. And I don't know how no one has connected the dots on this before. Like, what do you think his job as a researcher is on this podcast that is dedicated to doxing, harassment, and defamation? There's nothing else for him to do in his role as a researcher aside from that. And this is something that is soon to have the lid blown off it in a year or two, because Ethan is about to be forced to go to trial in Ryan Kavanagh's defamation lawsuit against him. He lost 2 anti-slap appeals and a final injunction, or whatever it is, like the third thing that you do as like your last gasp to try and stop the suit from going forward. So soon they're going to have to go to trial. And as a part of the trial is going to be a discovery process. And as a part of this discovery process, since Ryan Kavanaugh isn't just suing Ethan Klein, he's also suing Teddy Fresh Inc., which owns the podcast, the group chats pertaining to his case are going to be leaked. And in those group chats, you can mark my words here, there is going to be Abi Ayad doing research, which is feeding Ethan Klein defamation, feeding Ethan Klein purported dirt, feeding Ethan Klein talking points to attack this person. Now, Ryan Kavanaugh is a piece of shit, but even if he's a piece of shit, you still shouldn't make shit up about him, as Ethan Klein is about to learn very badly in court. So mark my words here, be on the lookout for that. Once the discovery stuff comes out, it's going to blow the lid off how these guys conduct themselves behind the scenes, and Abi Ayad's very direct role in pertaining to Ethan's every disgusting whim, whether it be defamation or spreading Zionist propaganda. So with that out of the way, let's check out Abi Ayad's great response to me. Let's see if he can refute a single thing that I actually said in my video on him.
Then I realized that all my socials had a bunch of comments from people saying that I call anti-genocidal Arabs barbaric.
You did.
And I was like, okay, which moron made a video today? For something that insane, I knew it had to be, without even really looking into it, Bad Empanada. For those who don't know, Bad Empanada is this dude who likes to pretend to be the...
This guy, by the way, he has been making fun of my appearance. Like, his response to me was not to actually respond to anything I say, it's to attempt to make fun of my appearance. So I'd like to get this out there. This man, Abi Ayad, had copious amounts of cosmetic surgery to try to make himself look less Arab. I am not fucking kidding you. He's admitted it on the podcast. He had a single photo of him taken from a bad angle, spread around, something like that. And his reaction to it was to literally start getting plastic surgery. He's got veneers, he's got fillers, he's had his nose done, everything. If there's ever a self-hating Arab, it's this guy.
True.
Yeah. I got my teeth shaved down because that subreddit.
Yeah.
If we didn't have...
Well, hold on, stop. What?
I got my 2 front teeth shaved down.
You
I've
did?
seen that fucking flock of photos so much.
You did that?
What? This is new AB lore.
Yeah.
You went to a dentist and had them shave your front teeth?
Yeah, I've been thinking about doing it for a while.
Let me
but
see.
You can't tell. That wasn't the problem. Yeah, I thought it was the problem, but that wasn't.
It didn't fix the problem?
You had your teeth filed and it didn't even do anything?
Nah. Well, I wanted to file them anyways, just to straighten them out.
Wait, so what's the problem? So that didn't fix it, so what do we think's the problem? Have we identified what next we need to adjust?
The doctor recommended a few things.
What do we do? What's down the pipeline?
So that was a stress-induced facial tic, is what the dentist said. She said there's something called gummy lip Botox that can be done right here.
I mean, you get the point. How do you have the goal to make fun of anyone else's appearance? By the way, when no one talked about your appearance or anything like that, when you are so colonized mentally that you literally got cosmetic surgery to try and make yourself look less Arab. Absolutely ridiculous. And this, by the way, is the picture of him that made him get this cosmetic surgery. One single photo from a bad angle, and it's time for me to pay hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of dollars, at least hundreds of thousands might be an exaggeration, on cosmetic surgery. What else is there to say, man?
Joker, like he has everything planned out and he's doing all these elaborate plans to take people down. But in actuality, he's nothing but a big fat pussy. I mean,
he likes to pretend he's the Joker. No, that's a joke. It's playing into your boss, Ethan Klein's delusions. Ethan Klein claims that I'm like this massive criminal mastermind. And then you're like, in reality, none of that's true. Yeah, it's not. Your boss made it up. He made it up with your help, with your research help. And now you hear like, oh, he's just a big fat pussy. Dude, you're the biggest pussy in the fucking world. Like, your job is to be a professional pussy. Your job is to sit there and say nothing and be obedient. To be clear, the most pathetic man in the whole world. Like, your master is a 5'5" meek little bitch. So for you to call anyone a pussy is just the least offensive thing ever. Ethan Klein is the king of the pussies, and you're somehow more of a king than he is.
excuse my language, I don't know how else to put it, but he's a joke. He tries to act like he's this overlord who has everything planned out, but essentially he's just a little bitch who does whatever he wants. He harasses people, and
he's not going to show any evidence of the harassment, by the way.
Lives in Argentina, where he can get away with doing these types of things.
Do you have any evidence of that? Why does living in Argentina mean that I can get away with doing these types of things? And what are these types of things? You're the researcher, aren't you? Where's the evidence? You just make claims without backing them up at all? I'm going to do the same to you. Would you like to see how that can go, AB? I have clear evidence that you are directly involved in defamation against me and against many others. Your role is to help Ethan find defamation. Your role is specifically that. So proportionate retaliation against you would be to do precisely what you help Ethan do to others. And I want to let people know that specifically. Open the floodgates.
And not deal with any type of repercussions. All right, bud. You want to go to mommy? Say bye to Rocco. I don't want to talk too much shit while he's here.
Just to be clear, Ethan Klein sexually harassed this guy's mother live on stream. I'm not going to show you the clip, but Ethan Klein literally came onto his mother live on stream while he sat there meekly. So I just remember that because he brought up the word mommy. It's pathetic. It's also worrying in the position this guy is in. Like for him, he became obsessed with this podcast as a child, basically. And it's been his entire life. And now he considers himself a part of their family. And that's like such an important part of his identity that he could not imagine himself without them. It's sad.
Say bye. Okay. So yeah, this was the message I woke up to. It says, ABI called anti-genocide Arabs barbaric Arabs in his new video on his channel.
Yeah, you
blah,
did.
Blah, 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 blah. AB, you will now be dealt with directly rather than peripherally.
Blah, 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 blah. You notice how he edited that out? I wonder why he edited it out. Let's show you. I'll show you what it said. Blah, 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 blah. He's not allowed to acknowledge this. He's not allowed to acknowledge what his boss said. ABAR called anti-genocide Arabs barbaric Arabs in a new video on his channel Starkiller. Just one day after he sat there obediently in silence as his Zionist boss Ethan Klein went on a drug-fueled rant where he screamed about fucking Arabs for 2 entire minutes. Why did you not say that part? Why did you cover it intentionally in the story? And then you don't even read it in your response video. You're not responding to me. You can't respond where you don't tell people what you're responding to. He's not allowed to show his fans this. He would get fired if he mentioned that Ethan Klein went on a drug-fueled rant about how fucking Arabs forced Zionists to genocide Palestinians. Talk about a pussy bitch.
Unless you delete this video and publicly apologize. Okay, let me be clear about this.
Listen here, you dumbass. Chance, you little baby.
You fucking moron. You have no authority. You have no power. You have no leverage. You're nothing.
I clearly do have all of those things, given that you felt the need to respond to me for about 10 Instagram stories, and now you're making a whole video over it. Like, you have been silent on this. Totally silent. This whole time, your boss has been spamming genocide propaganda. You've been silent. And you know who's getting you to make a video? Who brought you over the edge? Me. I control you mentally. I live in your head. Not to mention how much I live in Ethan's head. It hurts you to know that you can't respond to me. And that's why you're here. So let it all out. Vent. Throw out meaningless insults. You can't insult anyone. You're the most pathetic person in the world. Even more pathetic than Ethan himself. Whatever comes out of your mouth, regardless of how many expletives there are, no one's ever going to be offended by them.
But a little bitch hiding behind the internet talking shit. You do nothing but...
What do you think you are? You think you're not hiding behind the internet talking shit? Just to be clear here, this guy blocked me. Like, he blocked me on Instagram literally the second that I sent him a message. Talk about being a scared little bitch.
Dox and harass people? I don't know who you're talking to.
Dox and harass people. Who have I doxed or harassed? You notice how they never provide any evidence of it. You know who does dox and harass people? Him. If you've been defamed on the H3 podcast, if you've been doxxed on the H3 podcast, it was this guy.
Where I'm from, I'm not afraid of you. I'm not intimidated by
you. I know where I'm from. Dude, you're so fucking hard.
Your tactics are so hilarious to me. I find it cringe that people fall for your shit of trying to act like the Joker. And
your boss falls for the shit. Your boss falls for that shit. Is your boss cringe then? Are you just calling out your boss?
Anytime you get any sort of pushback, you want to cry like a little baby and play victim and pearl clutch. It's hilarious.
When have I done that? Provide evidence of that. You're the one who's doing that right now. You're playing victim. You're claiming you're the victim of harassment when you're being held to account for shit that you factually have said and done.
I will be suing this person. I'm doing this. Fuck you. Go cry.
You're just describing Ethan Klein. You work for a guy who is currently threatening to sue 10 different fucking people, none of whom is actually sued. You live in a bubble of cognitive dissonance that is beyond the pale. What is going on here, dude?
You little bitch. And I'm just getting started on you. Oh, and by the way, don't get too excited. This will be the one and only time.
I'm just getting started on you. I'm just getting started on you. Aren't you just getting started on me? But this will be the one and only time
I try to stay quiet for so long.
So, yeah, that's a great way to get out of ever having to address anything that I've actually said, isn't it? but you were just getting started on me and then you immediately tap out in the next sentence. This is the only time you're going to do it. Okay, little baby boy, my sweet little baby boy. My sweet little baby boy with $100,000 worth of plastic surgery.
Launch people said this dude was insane. He's a pussy. And I've learned that pretty clearly throughout these past couple of months. You give him any little pushback and, oh my God, you doxed me. You did this. He just makes up shit, anything he can.
You literally fucking did dox me, and I'm not the only one you've doxed.
Man, I'm being obsessed with you guys when you only had 15K subs. Glad that's behind me. Enjoy hell. This guy's for real. Joe Coop. Look this guy up. Enjoy hell. He said enjoy hell.
Yeah. No, I mean, they think I'm actually the devil.
I feel like this one's real. We caught you, Joe. Public facing account.
Joe.
I see you. You wanted to be cute? Let's see it. Nice mustache. Strong entry. Not exactly the Esteban, but halfway there.
He's not. Oh yeah.
I probably blocked
him. He's not showing up for me.
So this is Joe Coop. He left a message on Hila's Star David tattoo. He said, "I'm glad that phase is behind me. Enjoy hell." Joe Coop said. Let's start David. Here he is. If anyone, let's see if I know can identify him at all.
Oh shit! That weenie truck he's in front of, that's in Dearborn. Because he's a coward. You're a fucking coward. You're a joke.
Okay, I'd like an explanation as to how I'm a coward, but you aren't. Because I respond to everything that people say about me. I don't leave anything unresponded to. I provide clear evidence for my claims. I don't tiptoe around anything. You sit there like a cowardly little bitch while your boss spreads propaganda to genocide you, an Arab. Your boss sits there spreading justifications for the genocide of Arabs, people like you, and you say nothing. I just don't understand. The cognitive dissonance here is absolutely crazy.
And I love knowing that you're going to see this footage and have a little bitch fit and cry and scream and threaten and post your Instagram stories. Oh,
the projection is off the charts.
I'm so afraid. Let me show you what I said.
Every single thing that he's saying here is about Ethan and him.
In response to this.
He did not respond. You notice how he's posting Instagram stories instead of responding to the video.
You'll be dealt with directly. Who the fuck are you, you little shit? This is my response.
Who the fuck are you, you little shit? He's acting like this hasn't gotten to him when he's making a whole video about it, so it's clearly gotten to him. Not only that, but he can't actually respond to me. He cannot actually respond to a single thing that I said.
To the Reddit post where I initially saw his community post. Laugh my ass off. The only thing this dude could do that scares me is breathe his shit-smelling breath near my face.
Very funny, dude. You were extremely
Another prime example
funny.
Of how disingenuous...
Shit-smelling breath is a very poor turn of phrase, given the fact that you work for someone with a literal scat fetish whose house is covered in dog shit.
Jobs like this are. In the video, I said that no matter how much nasty shit Mel House says about me, I will continue to defend him from the false narrative of the world, which is us Arabs are barbaric animals. But again...
No, you called him a barbaric animal. You said that him, by being an Arab who actually defends Palestine, he gives the Zionists ammo, and you claim that he's a barbaric Arab and that they will use him as ammo against Palestinians. In saying that, you made it clear how you think, which is that your entire existence is trying to be a good Arab. Essentially, you're trying to be as little of an Arab as you can possibly get away with, because that is a standard that you believe you should be held to. You are basically like Uncle Ruckus. It's an absolutely insane thing to say, like Zionists are genocidal against Arabs. They want all Arabs gone. And your response to someone who is more pro-Palestine than you, who calls you out for your bullshit, was to accuse them of like being some sort of stereotype and affirming Zionist stereotypes or something. It's like the equivalent of a black guy complaining about black culture and rap music or something. It was just disgusting.
These people do not care. Drama is more important than Palestine to them. I said free Palestine.
Like the cognitive dissonance here is absolutely fucking amazing. The only reason I am even here is because the exact opposite is true. I criticize you for your words, actions, and to be clear, the words that you also don't say, because you sit there meekly and you do not say anything while your boss spreads genocide propaganda. That's why I'm here. If your podcast did not involve copious amounts of pro-genocide propaganda, I never would have addressed it. And clearly, the interpersonal stuff, the work stuff is way more important to you than the actual genocide, given that you just sit there meekly and never call it out.
F anyone trying to lie about it or silence me. And then,
F anyone trying to silence you. My friend, no one has to silence you. You sit there in silence every single day. You're paid to be silent. You're paid not just to be silent, but you're paid to be silent and send Ethan Zionist talking points and send him defamation on pro-Palestine people. The only person silencing you is Ethan Klein with the dollars that he sends you. A little bit of introspection would do you very good.
No need to prove myself. This is just, I feel important for people in the audience to see.
Like specifically the thing that you're being criticized on is your silence. Where do you get off saying Someone's trying to silence me. Now he's just sitting. Look at these many messages that I get from people who definitely exist, who tell me how epic and right I am. You know, the silent majority supports me, guys. Now, I know for a fact that this guy has blocked basically every Palestinian who's ever responded to him on Twitter or on Instagram. When someone criticizes him for his enabling of the Palestinian genocide currently happening in Gaza and supported by Ethan and Hila Klein, his employers, he blocks them immediately. So how fucking dare this guy invoke likely fake messages from like 2 or 3 fucking people as evidence that he is supposedly a good Arab and that this other Arab who supports Palestine more than him is actually a barbarian for not abiding to Zionist standards of what an Arab should be, according to this guy who got plastic surgery to look less Arab.
I get from friends and family on the daily. People who actually have family in the Middle East, people who actually lost people who actually care. This person, I said, I just watched your YouTube video. It was well said. I love how these people just want you to raise hell without thinking and quit your job because they aren't in your position. They're so
By the way, you notice how I watch every single second of his video and he literally does not show his viewers a single second of mine. Just pointing that out.
Even willing to roll the dice when they're gambling with your chips. Actually, I got another one from my uncle, which was very sweet. He was probably...
My own family member said good things about me. Dude, this is pathetic. What even is this? Why aren't you responding to what we actually said about you? Why are you just telling us how your family supports you?
Simple. Stop giving the opposition ammo.
So these trolls can be, stop giving the opposition ammo? You work for the opposition. What are you talking about? Your job is to give him ammo. This is actually painful. These trolls can be disappointed with. I'm not disappointed with you. I don't expect anything from you. They can criticize me, but the moment they twist shit like this, no one twisted anything. We cited facts about what you say and do. Or more accurately, what you don't say or do. Because you sit there, you send Zionist propaganda to Ethan Klein, and then he advocates for genocide in your presence, and you do nothing. He openly screams about the fucking Arabs right next to you, and you don't say anything. How dare you play the victim here? They use as examples to try and show we pro-Palestinians cannot be reasonable? What the fuck does that mean? Why would you want to abide by the standards of the people genociding fucking Palestinians? To them, Palestinian existence is unreasonable, and your talking point is all that we need to do is try to be more palatable to the people doing the genocide, and then surely the genocide will stop. That's really your talking point? Let me give you an analogy here. One that dumb people like you usually need to be made because you don't know about anything except Nazism, and even then you don't really know much about it. So I hate having to make these like World War II analogies every single time, but it's unfortunately needed because Americans just don't know anything about the world aside from the Holocaust happened and the Nazis existed, and then like America became the freedom country. That's their narrative. So here, can you imagine a Jew saying in 1938, guys, you need to stop being bad Jews. The Germans are using you as examples that us Jews cannot be reasonable. Stop giving them ammo. Isn't that a ridiculous fucking thing? Like, those people want you dead. Those people are 3 years away from throwing you into death camps with industrial extermination, and you're talking about how you just need to like appeal to their good side and show how reasonable and good you are, aka like how close to whiteness you are, which is what Abiy is saying here. Isn't that just a ludicrous talking point? Yeah, it is. And it shows how colonized this man's mind is. He's trying so bad to be one of the good ones. He's trying so bad to be as white as possible. And my friend, I think you have achieved it, because no one would ever know that you were Arab unless you told them otherwise. From the way that you conduct yourself, from the way that you speak, from the way that you look, especially due to the plastic surgeries, you have molded yourself into the obedient little dog that the American imperialists and the Zionists want you to be. Congratulations on that. But you should not try to impose that standard onto others. Thank you.
Faith actors, they're unhinged and are one of the greatest weapons against the movement. They're used as examples to try and show we pro-Palestine.
One of the greatest weapons against the movement. People are being thrown into prison all around the world for being pro-Palestine. They're being massacred. And for you, the greatest weapon against the movement is people being too pro-Palestine. And people who are, according to you, too rabidly pro-Palestine for Zionist sensibilities. You fucking piece of shit, man. Like, you're honestly as bad as Ethan here. You use all the same talking points that he does. There's nothing meaningfully differentiating you from him.
Palestinians cannot be reasonable. Stop giving the opposition ammo. And then I linked my actual video to show what I actually said.
I showed what you said in that video. I played the video in my response to you. I already showed it at the beginning. How dare you lie and say that I did not show what you said? I did. You were just a fucking liar.
This dude was saying, really nasty shit.
The fucking paycheck, AB? Fucking pussy.
People are trying to...
That's not nasty shit. That's not nasty at all. You do Zionist propaganda for a paycheck. That's just blatantly true. That's what you do. Your job is to sit there in silence as Ethan Klein reads off the Zionist propaganda like the Israeli propaganda articles that your job is to send him. You're the researcher, right? That's what you do.
frame it like he's saying he's going to R-word my mom and sister. That's not what he's saying. That's not what he's saying. He's being an asshole, but I don't need that extreme. I don't need that. I don't need you guys to be that extreme. Yes, he said something like, the translation is something like, fuck your sister, fuck your mom, whatever. By the way, Millhouse, if you're watching, someone was in my chat and wanted us to talk and said, give him some grace. He's going through something with his mom. I said, I don't know what's going on with his mom, but I'll pray for her. I wish her well.
Wow, you're so special. Why don't you address the substance of the criticism? You notice this is a diversion tactic, right? He tries to turn it around to look, I'm so nice to this guy. He was so mean to me, but I'm so nice to him. You see the comparison between us? He's this barbarian, confrontational Arab, not like me, the subservient, nice Arab. And he uses this as an excuse to avoid the actual criticism, which is you are paid to enable Zionist propaganda. In fact, you're paid to do Zionist propaganda, given that you feed it to Ethan yourself. That was the criticism. That some insult is thrown in after that doesn't change anything meaningfully. You avoid the criticism explicitly by framing yourself as the rational, good Arab who conforms to Zionist standards of what an Arab should be, and this other guy who displays actual emotions regarding the Palestine and Lebanon issue, regarding Israel genociding these countries, who clearly actually cares, who insulted you for your role in spreading Zionist propaganda. You frame him as a bad, barbaric Arab, while ignoring his actual criticism, which is what I said, him claiming correctly that your role is to spread Zionist propaganda and that you do so for a paycheck. All of that is true, and you avoid it completely with this dishonest bullshit about how nice you are, in contrast to that mean asshole. How mean he is to call you out for something that you factually do. You assist in the genocide of babies and children. Your job is to help Ethan Klein spread propaganda, enabling that. You can't turn this around into being, look how nice I am and look how mean he is. You slimy fuck.
And the next time I see a clip of you, you're saying, fuck my mom. But hey, good job. You're doing a good job.
Honestly, you know who wants to fuck your mom? Ethan fucking Klein. Let's play the clip. Your boss sexually harasses your mother on his podcast.
Was it as weird as him talking about
What's weird about love?
being breastfed by my mother?
There's nobody else that's partaken in your mother's breast milk that loves you the way that I do. And that is a special... What? What do you keep pointing to me?
I'm because you're just smiling. You're so happy.
Yeah, I'm happy thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's a good, positive memory.
What did it taste like? I never tried it.
Sweet, salty.
Salty. I love...
This is disgusting.
If I take a compliment battle and turn into sucking on my mom's tits.
AB posted a Mother's Day picture of us. The comments were, I didn't quite understand.
I can help you. I'd love to help you,
Okay.
actually.
All right.
I've actually dreamed of helping you.
That's wonderful. There were some...
Okay, I'm not watching any more of this, but you get the fucking point. He has nothing to say about Ethan Klein screeching about the fucking Arabs forcing the Zionists to genocide them. He has nothing to say to defend his mother's honor when Ethan Klein openly expresses his desire to have sex with her live on stream right in front of him. But someone just says, fuck your mom, like, you know, a generic insult. And he has a lot to say about them. He gets called out for sitting there meekly and saying nothing as Ethan Klein rants about the fucking Arabs. He has a lot to say about them. You notice the pattern here? This man is trained and obedient. And I have never seen anyone more trained and obedient than this.
Good job. You know, I'm sure Zionists love you. I'm sure they love you as an example of us Arabs being fucking barbaric. As every fucking person on the internet, every person in the world wants to prove that we're nothing but fucking barbaric animals. You're doing a great job, man. You're doing a great job. I will continue to defend you and try to steer away from that narrative. You're welcome.
You didn't even address what he was saying. He did not address what he was saying at all. He's avoiding the point. He avoids my points in this video. It doesn't even show what I said. And he avoids this other guy's points as well, which is that he receives money to do Zionist propaganda.
Do I need to break that down for you, you fucking moron? Do I need to break it down for the idiots in your audience? I'm giving you guys the benefit of the doubt by thinking that there's no way possible y'all are that stupid. There is no way possible that you could have seen that.
This is the most American guy I've ever seen.
And thought that I was saying that any Arab who's anti-genocidal is barbaric. Because it is so clear.
It's clear what you were saying. We know precisely what you're saying. Well, let's see your explanation for it, because I know why you said it.
What I'm saying. I'm defending him. I'm defending him because I don't need people to...
You're not defending him at all. You're not defending him. You said verbatim. Zionists love you. They love you because you're an example of us Arabs being barbaric. That is what you said. You don't get to fucking drive that back and claim that you were defending him, you lying fucker.
To weaponize other Arabs against me. Yes, he said nasty shit. He said fuck you. I don't
You're not even addressing what you
need
said.
people to say that he was implying that he wanted to...
You said that he was a great example of a barbaric Arab to be used by the Zionists to justify genocide.
R-word my mom and sister. I don't need that. But you
didn't
took
say
that
that.
and you
You're
want
lying about that.
to spin this narrative that I was saying that all Arabs who are anti-genocidal are barbaric. What a piece of shit you are.
Yeah, you look at this Arab who's calling you out for being a professional genocide justifier 4 days a week. That's what you do live on stream. And in response to that, you said that he was a great example of a barbaric Arab according to Zionist standards. That's what you said. Own your words. How dare you oh, you piece of shit. You throw out a bunch of insults. You'd never address what you actually said and what we said about it, you lying
What
fuck.
a fucking moron. Actually, I don't know. Choose one. Are you a piece of shit or are you a dumbass? Because those are the only two options possible. You want to attack me for defending an Arab who has talked...
You said that he was a barbarian and a great example for Zionist use of the barbaric Arab stereotype.
Talk shit about me by saying that I'm saying that all Arabs who are anti-genocidal are barbaric. What a...
So is it only this one who's barbaric? Is that what you were saying? It was only him who's barbaric.
Fucking disgusting piece of shit you are. You fucking moron. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not going to back down. You are a joke. You're a little fucking crybaby. Anytime anyone tries to say anything to you, you throw a little bitch fit. How disgusting. How disgusting. You want to criticize me? Say I didn't say enough.
You're throwing a bitch fit right now. What are you talking about?
I'm not saying enough. You want to say I'm a piece of shit for where I work? Say whatever the fuck you want. When the moment you twist something like this, especially when it's me defending an Arab, it shows how fucking disingenuous you are. And shame on you. And shame on anyone who believes it.
Defending an Arab. Okay. Let's go back and see what he just actually showed.
Good job, man. You're doing a good job. I'm sure Zionists love you. I'm sure they love you as an example of us Arabs being fucking barbaric. As every fucking person on the internet, every person in the world wants to prove that we're nothing but fucking barbaric animals. You're doing a great job, man. You're doing a great job.
Yeah, dude, you defended him really fucking well there by saying that he was a great example for the Zionists of a barbaric Arab for them to use to justify genocide. You really defended him so well here. So let me break this down for you, what this is. Abi Ayad believes that Arabs need to abide by the standards that the people who want to genocide them give for what an acceptable Arab is. That is what he's saying there. So because this Do Not Worry podcast guy is passionate about Palestine, because he gets angry when he sees Abi Ayad, someone who he used to look up to as a good example of Arab representation and stuff like that, sitting there meekly as Ethan Klein does pro-genocide propaganda, this man who, by the way, lives in Lebanon, gets bombed by Israel. He criticizes you, yells at you for what you factually do, which is receive money to enable Zionist propaganda. And your response to that was to call him a great example of a barbaric Arab to be used by the Zionists to justify genocide. That is just fucking ludicrous, okay? It's literally Uncle Ruckus shit. That is all that it is. And it shows how fucked up your brain is, how much you hate yourself. Because for you, it's not that these people have a hatred of Arabs, which is based on them wanting to eliminate them to take their land, based on them being obstacles, for example, to Western imperialism. No. For you, they hate them because they see them as negative stereotypes, and it is the role of individual Arabs to not abide by those stereotypes, to prove those stereotypes wrong, by not being too passionate about Israel, Palestine, or in this case, by something as petty as just not calling you out for your role in enabling genocide in the H3 podcast. Basically, for you, a good Arab is what you are. A silent Arab who sits there obediently by a Zionist, getting a paycheck from him, sending him pro-Israel propaganda articles, and not proving the Zionists right with their stereotypes of the Arab barbarian by showing a little bit of emotion or actually fighting back or anything like that. No, what you got to do is sit next to a Zionist and enable his every move. I just dissected your entire being. And of course you'll never respond to it. You're not even responding to me in the first place. You're not showing a single fucking thing that I said in the actual video that I made on this. So your 2-minute long expletive-filled rant, you genuinely thought that I would be intimidated by that I would be a little bitch and I would cry about it? No, all that I'm doing is reiterating what I said about you in the first place because you never actually responded to it. That's how easy this is.
I could see you losing it and crying like a little fucking baby. God,
That's what you're doing right now. This level of projection is
I know you will
of.
with community posts and whatnot, but it won't be as beautiful as just seeing you cry live. And this isn't the first time. Just to give, I'm not trying to go in on Milhouse. I'm over Milhouse, but let me just give you even more context to this specific situation. This is not the first time I've defended him after he said horrible shit, either about me or about other.
You keep calling it horrible shit. It doesn't matter what he said about you. What he said about you is true. That he threw in some insults, which are warranted, by the way, given your role in enabling genocide propaganda, doesn't change the fundamental truth of what he said about you. Why don't you defend yourself from the allegations that he's making, which is that you enable genocide for a paycheck?
People. For those of you who don't know, Mike from PA, this white dude from PA, was talking shit and saying,
"Oh, he's white. Oh, he's white. That must make what he says about you wrong.
That I am a disgrace to my people. I'm ashamed. They're ashamed of me. Whatever the fuck." And I made me upset because I'm like, who are you as a white guy to say that?
He's white guy, right? He's just white. You can't actually refute what he says. All you can do is point out who said it. Oh man, you do everything to avoid the point, don't you? You never respond directly to what people are saying. You get a paycheck to enable Zionist propaganda. I can see why you're afraid to debate me on this, because you fucking know if you were confronted with live pushback, you wouldn't fare very well, would you? Just like your boss.
I'm a disgrace to my people, and my people are disappointed with me. Who are you to say that? I understand he's white. I appreciate him.
Who are you to say that? You're white.
Palestine. God bless. I'm okay with him criticizing.
He can't actually prove it wrong. All that he can do is say, you shouldn't be allowed to say that because you're white.
For whatever the fuck he wants. But who are you to speak on behalf of my people? And you, Millhouse.
Your people, you're speaking on behalf of your people constantly all the time. Like, who are you to speak on behalf of Palestinians and on Arabs who by far in the majority have opinions that are massively counter to yours? What a fucking
up and you're like, well, as a Lebanese guy, I'll say you're a disgrace to our people. I was like, okay, dude. And then I said something about it on my stream. And I said, even though you've said horrific shit, and that was referring to his...
He's just trying to make this interpersonal. This is Ethan Klein shit here. He's ignoring what it's actually about, which is him helping Ethan spread genocide propaganda and just trying to make it about him being insulted or whatever.
Comment about loving the screams of innocent Israelis. I still don't want to dogpile on you. I still don't want to do that because you're...
Oh my God, dude. Yeah, we get it, dude. You're such a great guy. You're on a higher level than these people. You're not stooping to their level. Yeah, dude, that's what this is all about. It's not actually about you spreading genocide propaganda. He's trying to turn this into like nothing more than like an insult-ridden shouting match. And he's like, you know what? I'm not going to insult you back in a video where all that he's doing is throwing out like grade school insults, by the way. I'm above that. And he's ignoring the point they're actually making, which is you receive money to enable genocide propaganda. Why don't you respond to that, you fucking coward?
You're Lebanese, you live in Lebanon where it's being actively bombed, and I don't... Actually, you know what? Let me just show you his reaction to it.
You know, fuck it, man. Fuck it. Millhouse, I don't know if you'll see this clip. I want to say shit. Like, also, all right, fuck it. Millhouse, like, AB, I don't know, like, if you're afraid of, like, saying something about me, I'm not gonna fucking come after you, bro. I'm powerless. So there's nothing that I can do to harm you.
Well, here, let me explain myself now. No, I'm not afraid to come after you. What I'm saying is, I don't want to call out someone who's in Lebanon being actively bombed, no matter how much shit they talk about me.
I mean, you're calling him by, like, a despective nickname that Ethan Klein made up to attack him. Ethan Klein, a Zionist defender of Israel, who defended Israel while it was bombing this guy's country. You're using the nickname that Ethan Klein made up against him while telling us how much of a better man you are, how you're above insulting him. Give us a fucking break, dude.
Even though previously I've seen you defend me, but like I said, the snark.
You don't deserve to be defended. You keep trying to make this about like personal insults, interpersonal drama. It's about you helping to enable genocide.
Got to you too much.
Millhouse, I don't know if you'll see this clip. I want to say shame on you for me telling a white dude that he has no right to speak for me as an Arab.
Oh, he's a white guy, so what he says can't be true.
And then you look at the camera and you say, well, as a Lebanese person, I'm saying that you're a disappointment. You can say whatever you want to, say however you want it, but to do it in a way in which you side with a white person, Habibi, you're...
Oh, you can't ever agree with a white guy? What a great argument! These people are so fucking dumb. He learned this from the best. He learned this from Ethan Klein. Ethan Klein's like, I'm Jewish. Case closed. AB Ayad is like, I'm Arab and you're white. Case closed. I guess I don't have to address the actual facts, which is that I enable genocide propaganda for a paycheck. He's just doing that. That's what this whole video is about. It's avoiding the point. Throwing out schoolyard insults and focusing on like interpersonal insults between the creators to avoid what their fundamental disagreement is, which is him enabling genocide for a paycheck.
You're getting too high off the snark cloud, okay? I'm telling you that.
I'm sorry, but the white person did way more than, like, he spoke out way more than AB.
Yes.
So the white person he's talking about is Mike.
So what?
Yes. You notice how AB puts like he has a fixation with putting up what he believes to be unflattering pictures of people when they're being talked about. This is him editing this in here. You can tell because it's covering his webcam. So he put this on the screen himself. AB Ayad, someone who had such terrible body image issues that he literally got cosmetic surgery to remove his Arab facial features, dares to do this to other people.
Is Mike from PA. And let's watch the...
Okay, here, I'll explain. The problem is the fact that what we were arguing about was him speaking on behalf of my people. As I said, criticize me whenever you want. But when the specific argument is this white dude telling me how Arabs feel about me and speaking on behalf of Arabs is not...
He can make that assessment based off empirical facts, based off the literal tens of thousands of people, Arabs, many of them, calling you out for this shit.
Not okay. And then Millhouse jumped in and felt like he was going to be the Arab to co-sign that. And that was the...
There's no fucking problem there. What they're saying is factually correct. Both of them are correct. Doesn't matter if they're Arab, white, black, yellow, green. What they're saying about you is right. That's the issue. Contest the facts, you fucking little baby.
The problem Yeah, I'm glad that Mike from PA speaks about Palestine. God bless him. I thought he was a cool guy first. That's why I defended him. Every encounter we had.
So you thought he was a cool guy until he started criticizing you for sitting there and co-signing Zionist genocide 3 or 4 times a week on the H3 podcast.
He was nice. He was asking about my family. I was like, oh, this guy's awesome. But then I found out later on he doesn't care. It's just about trying to use me to hurt people around me.
Trying to please everyone, but when you try to please...
Who are the people around you? Ethan Klein, Zionist genocide propagandist. Hila Klein, Zionist genocide propagandist. If someone is using you to hurt those people, good! They fucking spread Zionist propaganda during a Zionist genocide. You guys are always like, oh no, these people are supposedly harassing me. Oh, they're harassing me by talking about the things that I factually say and do to support genocide. If you feel harassed or bad or whatever because me or any other plethora of people are calling you out for spreading Zionist genocide propaganda, that's fucking good. Zionists should feel bad. Zionism is a political ideology, an innately genocidal political ideology, an innately racist political ideology. Zionists are bad people. Zionists are fundamentally terrible people. And the only way to stop them from carrying out their racist and genocidal goals is by doing things like this. Just like how Nazism was made largely unacceptable, we need to do that with Zionism. You're not helping with that, are you, though? Because you sit there next to a Zionist, enabling him and helping him spread Israeli propaganda day in, day out for a paycheck.
Please everyone, you end up pleasing no one, bro.
Who am I pleasing? Habibi, who am I pleasing?
Your job is literally to please Ethan Klein. You have been your entire life, your entire adult life, a sycophant for Ethan Klein. You started out by making videos trying to please him. He saw those videos and he was like, yeah, this guy is totally fucking in love with me. I'm going to hire him. And ever since then, he's been paying you literally to please him. That's your fucking job.
I'm pissing off everyone. You go through my comments, you'll see terrorist sympathizer.
Everyone except the people paying you.
You'll see you work for a Zionist. You'll see Zionist. You'll see traitor. You'll see why you still defend Frogan. I am pissing off everyone because I'm staying true to myself and what I believe.
If you're staying true to yourself and what you believe, then what you believe is Zionism.
I'm trying to keep everyone happy.
You know what
Don't you think it'd be a lot easier just to pick an audience and just stick with it? Don't you think it would just be easier to just sit there and let people talk shit about Frogan and not try to defend her?
While keeping the pro-Palestinian audience happy?
Don't fucking do that. Your boss harasses her every fucking week, man. He has entire episodes about her still. Fucking pretending to defend her. If you were defending her, if you were defending Palestine, you would have quit like 2 fucking years ago, man.
Not going to be able to do that. Something's got to give. At some point, when it's...
And again, if this is not directed just towards Millhouse. This is everyone. If you truly believe that my workplace is spreading harmful views, isn't it better for the cause if I'm there to push back at all? Even if it's not up to par with what you guys want, even if it's not enough. Isn't it good to have...
You don't push back. You don't push back fucking at all. Let me show you more moments. Aside from the one that I showed at the beginning of the fucking Arabs moment, where he didn't say anything then. So here is Ethan Klein stating that the Palestinians are responsible for the IDF bombing hospitals because they have Hamas command centers underneath. This is a made-up genocidal talking point straight from the IDF, which they use to justify bombing hospitals and trying to physically genocide Palestinians.
But people who pretend that Hamas is anything but a fucking barbaric terrorist group that intentionally kills its own people for political gain is lying to themselves, dude. Holy shit. They literally put fucking command centers under hospitals. That's not even debated.
AB says nothing.
Gonna help end the war, not fucking keeping hostages and underground and like sending, just continuing to provoke Israel to attack them. And putting fucking like military complexes under hospitals. You know, Hamas's design from the beginning is to get as many people killed as possible.
Ethan Klein blames Palestinians for their own genocide. AB says nothing. You don't push back. You don't do anything. You're paid specifically not to. That's why you don't. You are parasocially tied to this man. Your entire identity is tied to him. And he's turned you into a Zionist, whether you realize it or not. Where is your energy for this stuff, AB Ayad? Where is your energy for your boss saying this disgusting genocidal propaganda live on the stream? Why are you pissed off so much more at people just insulting you than you are at your boss for spreading actual harmful pro-genocide propaganda? You have no energy for Ethan fucking Arabs, Klein. You have no energy for Ethan Hamas command centers under hospitals, Klein. You have no energy for Ethan 40 beheaded babies, Klein. Ethan also said that while AB Ayad said nothing. Let me show you the clip.
Tons of people got killed. Now, I don't know if they were beheaded, okay? And some people really care about that detail. So to me, the 40 babies is enough.
So Ethan Klein spread the 40 beheaded babies hoax. A.B. Yard said nothing. Ethan Klein constantly spreads the Hamas mass rape hoax. A.B. Yard says nothing. How exactly do you push back? You don't. If you push back, you'd be fucking fired. So give us a fucking break. Having you there is the exact same as not having you there. In fact, having you there is worse because your job as a researcher is to feed Ethan Klein dirt and defamation on his opponents, as well as Zionist talking points to use specifically to help him to justify this shit that he's spreading. That if your beliefs are as you claim they are, you know is false. The very problem that people have with you is that you don't fucking say anything. You enable this. You get paid for it, which is worse. You're profiting off genocide.
Happy no matter what, unless you start shitting on Hassan every day. But you don't want to do that because you know that Hassan isn't a piece of shit anti-Semite. So down.
And by the way, the only person out of all these people calling me out that has said to leave the crew alone has been Hassan, just for the record. The only time I've ever heard Hassan talk about me or Lena, he said to leave us alone, that we're in a tough situation.
You know what I mean? You can't.
What does that mean exactly? You're a fucking YouTube public personality. Because you're the crew, you should be left alone? What kind of a weird talking point is that? It's like a rule that you made up. You don't go after the crew. You don't say anything bad about us. Like, where the fuck do you get off saying that? What a weird-ass fucking talking point. And fuck Hassan for saying that. That's just such a weird-ass fucking thing to say. Yeah, go after the crew. That just as part and parcel of this as Ethan is. What are you doing? You're just following orders with the genocide propaganda? Like, give me a fucking break. What the hell kind of a talking point is that?
Sit on 9 hours a week on a Hasbara Zionist podcast, and then a couple hours on your solo stream, like, yeah, but I'm pro-Palestine because I reacted to a Palestine video on my stream.
It's almost as if I'm trying to do what I can with what's in my control. My stream.
Everything here is in your control. Everything here is in your control. You choose to work for these people. You choose to enable their Zionism. You choose to feed them Zionist talking points. You choose to help defame pro-Palestine people as fucking literal child sex criminals.
My social media accounts, I've been posting about Palestine nonstop. That is what I own.
You are on the podcast. No one forces you to be there.
I don't know if you guys know that.
You're acting like you're working in you're a working class man working in a mine or something with no choice but to do so. No, you're not. No, you're fucking not. You're being paid minimum, multiple six figures. I would say, given my knowledge of how much YouTube channels make, he's probably making at least 300 to 400,000 a year off this. And then he's also making more from his other social media, which is also obviously monetized. You know, he's got his second channel here. On his second channel, you know, he frequently gets like 50,000 views, 80,000 views, like his own personal, sorry, this isn't his second channel, it's his own personal channel. But basically, if he just to give you an example, if he chose to quit the podcast, which he could easily do, and he just made videos on his second channel, which got, let's say he made 5 videos a week, and each of them got an average of 50,000 views, which I would say is realistic, given the views that he tends to get on his videos here. From there, he would make around $1,500 to $2,000 per week ads alone, not even counting Patreon or anything else like that. That is how much you get from this sort of stuff. So he's going to claim here, like, what are you expecting me to do? I've got to put food on the table. What are you talking about? You're talking like you're a fucking working class guy with no choice but to work some shitty job. No, you work for like a podcast in Los Angeles. You make like 98 percentile income off this. And as a result of your participation in this podcast, you also have your own personal social media profile, which you could easily leverage to quit. And even if you didn't, it's not fucking moral to do Zionist propaganda for a paycheck, to do genocide propaganda for a paycheck, even if you would have difficulties if you did quit. That's a fucking ridiculous justification.
I know you guys want me to be homeless.
What a fucking comical talking point. Like, are your options do Zionist genocide propaganda for 6 figures or be homeless? Are you so fucking unmeritorious that you can't imagine yourself getting any other job?
Listen, again, and I've said this before.
Or like building your own social media profile on your own merit?
Even if you accept your idea of what's going on and where I work, do you guys not understand that I'm not a doctor? I can't just transfer to another hospital? Do you guys understand?
So do you disagree? What's this talking point here? Do you actually disagree with the Zionism of Ethan Klein, but you think you're forced to work there? Because there's nothing that you're saying here that is indicative of that at all. In fact, you're doubling down on smearing, attacking, defaming all the same people that Ethan does, accusing them of what Ethan actually specifically does, doubling down on your Zionist talking points, avoiding the actual reasons why people are criticizing you completely, which is the fact that you receive money to do Zionist propaganda, and you're just defending yourself by saying, well, I need the money from the Zionist propaganda, and that makes it okay. No, it fucking doesn't. If you don't think that someone who wrote articles for Der Stürmer in 1935 was justified in doing so because even though they didn't believe it, they made good money from it, then you are not justified in doing the equivalent of that today on the H3 podcast. It's very simple. Like, you can't defend this by saying, oh, I make money from it. that you make money from it makes it worse.
Understand that? Again, I'm not even saying I want to leave my job or anything like that. I'm just saying, do you guys not understand?
Oh, see, so you're not actually saying that. You're not actually saying that at all. Oh, okay. Then why the fuck are you saying this? You clearly don't think you're doing anything wrong, even in spite of the supposed hardship that you would go through if you quit. So why are you even saying this?
More helpful if I'm homeless? Would that help? Would that help the cause? You want me to go stand on Skid Row with the fucking, you only take my Palestinian
You make 6 figures, you fucking moron. You unmeritorious idiot.
flag and say free Palestine? Then I can hold my head high? Then you'll be happy?
You're offsetting that 2-hour stream that you're doing.
You're such a pathetic victim. He started this video by claiming that I play the victim. Look at him play the victim expertly. It's no wonder that you've become such a Zionist. You are such a perfect little Zionist. You play the victim almost as good as Ethan does.
With 9 hours of fucking work for fucking like a Zionist entity at this point, AB. Like, you have to make a choice, my man. You have to make a choice. You can't play both sides.
I've made the choice to stay with people who treat me like a human being. That's my choice. That's what I've decided.
Of the field.
They treat you like a human being? Your bus screeched about the fucking Arabs literally a couple of days ago.
On the fucking genocide. You're not
There was a point where I honestly considered going back home and honestly was like, and nothing to do with the way I was being treated by anyone, but because of all the hate me and Lena have been getting. If you're
getting hate, it's warranted. You are hated for helping spread genocide propaganda. You don't get to play the fucking victim. You do something objectively bad.
Short few months where I considered it. But then as time went on and I seen how unirrational a lot of these people are. And I've seen how they take things out of context. They just want to use me as a chess piece. I'm like, what am I thinking? I'm going to walk away from what I've always wanted, which was to live out here, to be involved in YouTube. I'm going to walk away from my dream for people who are rational, who will, if it's
Your dream is to literally be Ethan Klein's obedient little dog.
Today, tomorrow will drop me like nothing if I'm not 100% in agreement with them. I don't want that. I don't want these people in my audience. I don't want these.
Okay, so you basically said there that working for Ethan Klein gets you personal benefits, it gets you to where you want to be. Thus, you're okay doing Zionist propaganda, and anyone who criticizes you for that, like, you know, whatever, fuck them. All that matters is me personally. All that matters is what benefits me personally. You are a Zionist, both in practice and mentally, because that's Zionist logic par excellence. I don't care that anyone lived here before me. I don't care that I'm taking my house from these other people. I don't care what happens to them. It benefits me personally. It benefits my friends. It benefits people I consider to be of my in-group. That's your logic here. You are a Zionist in every way, shape, and form. And you won't respond to this, just like you didn't respond to my original video. You won't debate me. You're a pathetic little fucking coward, because I am dissecting your every being, and you know it. And I just want to reiterate here, though, obviously it wouldn't justify spreading Zionist propaganda for a paycheck, even if you really did need a job that badly. This guy is sitting on a YouTube channel where, from ads alone, he'll be making something around $120,000 a year. As it is now, not even considering any possible growth in the future if he worked on it more. And that's also not considering stuff like his Twitch and stuff like that as well, where he obviously also makes money. For him to sit here and be like, I have no option but to stay on this podcast. I'm doing it for my family. I'm trying to feed my family. I don't want to be homeless. When he has a sizable social media profile in his own right that he could easily leverage to make money without spreading Zionist propaganda, it's just a fucking joke. He's lying here about that. And again, not that it matters, because it's not okay to spread Zionist propaganda for a paycheck in the first place, even if you do really need the money. But this guy, he doesn't need the money because his role on this podcast has gotten him a substantial following in his own right that he could easily leverage to make money.
People as my friends. Like, I don't know how hard it is to understand that, like, y'all are just not reasonable. And you'll never make progress by being insane. And again, I'm not directing this at...
Oh, the insane pro-Palestinian people, right? If only we were reasonable. If only we abided by the Zionist standards of what constitutes reason. Huh? You know what is reasonable? Ethan Klein twitching on cocaine every stream, ranting about the fucking Arabs. Now that's reasonable. That's your friend. The funny thing is here, this man is not your friend, AB. This man basically groomed you. You were a child and you became enamored with his disgusting toilet humor when you were like, what, 15 years old? You then made videos, positive videos, trying to appeal to him desperately. He then took notice of how you were basically in love with him and hired you specifically for that reason. You have essentially, and I'm saying this without like any sense of irony or anything, this is not a joke. You have been groomed by someone you had a parasocial relationship with into basically being their obedient little dog. That's the position that you're in. You're not in a position of friendship or anything. You're in a position where you're practically a borderline abuse victim. This man basically adopted you and has molded you to his whims, which is pathetic as well because this man himself is a meek, sad, weak little bitch. Like, everything about this is so sad.
Millhouse. This is to everyone.
And then
Keep calling him Millhouse, this despective name coined by Ethan Klein. Yeah, dude, you're really defending.
And then
him.
you only have smoke for me, Millhouse. I'm the fucking problem in this. But you think, was I the first one to fucking call you out?
No, but your opinion was the only one that I actually even cared about. Because you're in Lebanon.
Yeah, you don't care about my opinion. That's why you spent the first half of this video talking about it.
You're a dude who's in the middle of this. So I actually cared about your opinion. I don't care about Mike from PA or any of these other fucking haters.
You don't care about his opinion, you're just discounting it. You're just discounting it.
Panadas who are off the hinges. I thought from the clips I saw of you, you were being understanding and you were being kind to me, Alina. But again,
no one has any obligation to be kind with you. And nor should they. You helped to spread genocide propaganda. Why should anyone be kind to you given what you're doing? It's so stupid to demand kindness and respect. You don't deserve any of those things until you prove that you deserve them by not spreading Zionist propaganda all day on fucking Ethan's podcast.
I think the snark got to you. Yes, Habiba, you think that I'm afraid of you or like why I was hesitant to talk about you in the first place? Yeah, because I don't want to start with you. I don't like the way that people weaponize Arabs against each other. I don't like it. And that's why.
You are literally a weaponized Arab. Your fucking role is to sit there and be a token Arab signing off on Ethan Klein's genocide propaganda. You are literally paid to be a weaponized Arab. You are the Yosef Haddad of the H3 podcast.
I defended you also with this most recent thing, me calling you barbaric. No, I was not calling you barbaric. I was defending you. I was defending you against people falsely saying that.
Oh my God, we played the clip. He's just lying.
You wanted to R-word my mom and sister because I don't think that's right. Even if you were talking shit about me and Lena. See, us Arabs, we tend to have a problem with being divisive. It's the reason that Israel's able to even do what it does when it's surrounded by so many Arab countries. Well, that in the back of the United States. But yeah, we really do have a problem being divisive, and I do not want to contribute to that.
Okay, so Israeli genocide is because Arabs are divisive. Israeli genocide is not because Israelis are genocidal, maniacal racists backed by literally the entire Western world, power absolutely overwhelming, that has itself installed these supposedly divisive governments in the Arab countries controlled by them, using their immense power to enable Israel, to enable Zionist genocide. The problem is Arab divisiveness, actually. There's no fucking divisiveness here. It's imperialism to enable genocide. I see your boss has brushed off on you, hasn't he? He blames Arabs for their own genocide. You also blame Arabs for their own genocide.
Even if I disagree with people. And I'll get hate for saying this, but whatever.
Even if a white guy
I'll get hate, whatever. It's not hate. You don't matter. You're not even like enough of your own person to be worthy of hating in your own right. But what you do is damaging. What you do is damaging genocide propaganda. That is why people shit on you for that. As a person, you are so just uninteresting. The only thing about you, the only reason why anyone pays any attention to you is because of the role that you play on a genocide-supporting podcast.
We agree.
And that's why I stepped in. I was like, if you're not
sorry, but he's right.
All right, that's fine. But then, please, your whole quarrel with me is that I'm not standing up for my people. Well, this is a literal, specific example of someone going against another Arab. When he's in
Oh my fucking God. I don't think this guy's intelligent enough here. Like, all he can do is saying, oh, I was arguing with a white guy. Why didn't you support me against this, in my argument with this white guy, even though what I was saying was objectively disgusting and wrong?
Arguing with a white guy. So, who's going against their people?
Get his ass. That's the thing. I don't want to have beef with him. I know he's going through it. I don't agree. I don't agree with some of the horrible shit, the horrific, some of the horrific shit he said.
When they say the horrific shit, I said they're talking about me reacting to Israelis running from the Iranian bombing. Again, it was a legitimate response after Israel attacked the Iranian consulate in Syria. No civilians died. There was one civilian that died, unfortunately. We were just having some fun after 7 months of watching babies getting blown up on our phones in Palestine, okay? So
you'll be okay,
seeing Israelis getting a small taste of their own medicine, it was a little bit cathartic, AB. So I don't think what I said was that crazy when you look at it in context.
That's good. He's right.
I know I'll be okay. I'm not worried about me. Clearly, I'm not worried about me.
Yeah, you fucking are.
Which is why I tried to defend.
I just want to say that this guy would say that was disgusting is fucking absurd. Obviously, when Israel is conducting a genocide, every single day blowing up babies, proportionate response against that is to bomb Israel. Absolutely. Just like Germany should have been bombed in response to what it did to Britain, for example. Basic principle. I don't give a single fuck about Israelis boo-hooing about that. Reap the whirlwind. As the great bomber Harris once said, he was a Rhodesian, but we can look past that for that epic quote. And you, as the token Arab, of course, signed off on Ethan Klein's narrative that it was disgusting that this guy celebrated Israel getting bombed in response to it fucking bombing people in a genocidal massacre for a year and a half.
Other Arabs in the perception of our people.
I don't want to be the guy to start beef with another Lebanese dude who's living in Lebanon that's actively being bombed right now. I don't want to be the guy. I don't want to say that he...
Well, I mean, you sit next to Ethan Klein while he does all of this and you say nothing.
I shouldn't feel a certain way because I know he's living there and he's going through it. But I guess that's the difference.
What's the difference?
Twitch to watch this clip and they'll say, no, the difference is you do this and you work for it. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, you work for Zionists. That's the only reason why anyone is shitting on you. If you didn't work for Ethan Klein, no one would be saying anything about you. People have problems with what you do to enable genocide, nothing else.
I guess he's trying to say, like, that's the difference between you and me. Like, I'm willing to go for him, even though he's Arab, but he's not going to attack me because I'm Arab. And AB, we've been very nice to you, my
We've never attacked him ever, actually.
We've been very generous. We've been very charitable. I constantly get criticized on Twitter, in the comments, in the live chat for being way too charitable.
You should not be charitable to him. You should not be charitable to these people. This is something that a lot of people do. You let them turn this into like some interpersonal thing where it's like, oh, you're mistreating me. Oh, you're harassing me. No, you don't let them fall back on that. You stay on topic. You force them to address their genocidal views, or even if they claim not to hold genocidal views like this guy doesn't, you force them to address the fact that they enable genocide through spreading propaganda. Don't let them fall back on this fake self-victimization shit like this moron here is doing.
And way too nice. Everyone's like, stop giving AB a second chance. Stop giving AB more chances. He's shown us his true colors. He has picked a side. Okay, and I'm always defending you because, AB, let me full screen myself for this, because you are my Lebanese brother, bro. And in the Khalid, you know how many people have told me, like, why don't you fight AB and like Creator Clash 3 or box AB and Creator Clash 4? I'm like, I don't have to fight.
I have to tell you about the future.
Together. I don't want to fight you. I don't even think you want to hit me. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't, Habibi.
Part of me, it's going to be hard for me to dislike you, but you're always going to be one of my favorites because...
That's so sweet. Now let's fast forward like 2 weeks in the future.
Fucking pussy. AB sitting there like a fucking coward. God knows what the fuck he's doing. AB and Lena, fucking cowards, Lebanese cowards. We do not recognize you as Lebanese, by the way. I'm done being church.
Yeah. What's the problem with this? He finally broke based on facts about what you did. What's the problem here? Why do you never address the criticism? Why do you never address the substance? He's saying this because you sat there while Ethan Klein spread genocide propaganda and said nothing. You never address the substance. All you're like is, he insulted me. He said I'm not a real Lebanese. I don't recognize him as a Lebanese. Why did he say that? Why don't you address why he's saying that? You can't. You'd get fired, wouldn't you? You are so domesticated.
You two pieces of shit, okay? I'm done being charitable. Fuck you guys.
Inshallah, you and your family are safe.
Inshallah, brother.
There you go. There's the clip. End the clip there. Hey, I have 2 phones. Hey, whoever clips this, end the clip there. I want him to know that I said, inshallah, your family is safe.
So, like, I don't know how sincere that is. I just wanted to know that I said it, but AB, thank you. Sincerely, thank you. And also, I hope your family's safe, because let's be honest, AB's family, I'm guessing if AB is half Muslim, so his family...
Full Muslim.
...might live in Shia areas. His
half Lebanese.
Family might be in more direct danger than I am. So AB...
Wait, Shia, yeah?
I think he's Shia, yeah. He's
wow,
half Shia.
I like it more.
What did I say about us Arabs being divisive? She likes me more now that she knows I'm Shia. I'm not actually criticizing her. I'm just playing it out. Us Arabs love to be divisive. Next, she would have asked what village I'm from.
I believe that's the case. So his family...
oh yes, my family is in South Lebanon, the part that's being bombed, and Lena's family.
The South, if he has any family...
This just makes it worse. This makes it worse that you help Ethan Klein spread Zionist propaganda. You do research sending him Zionist talking points. You do research sending him defamation on pro-Palestine and pro-Lebanon people. That makes it so much fucking worse, dude. Not better.
They're in more direct danger from Israel than I am.
And again, as I said in my video, whenever someone mentioned your mom not doing so well, I said I wish her well. I hope, everything's okay. I'll keep her in my prayers.
Just notice, he is focusing on this interpersonal shit. Like, I said good things about your mother. I said good things about you. I said I wish you well. He ignores the entire root of the problem, which is he sits there doing genocide propaganda with
And then the next clip I see of you, you're saying fuck my mother. So, okay. Shout out to my Lebanese brother Milhouse right there. Again, throughout it all, even though I get shit, we're still being forgiving and defending. I do not like the idea of people weaponizing us against each other. I appreciate people defending me, sincerely, but I don't need people to make up stuff like he was saying that he wanted to R-word my mom and sister. What happens when I defend you from that? You have this fucking moron, Bad Empanada, saying that I said that all pro-Palestinian, anti-genocidal activists are...
We saw what you fucking said about barbaric Arabs. Barbaric Arabs who provide ammo to the Zionists to justify their genocide because they don't conform to the Zionist standard of what Arabs should be. Everyone saw you say that. You're just going to pretend you didn't say it and you didn't show it during this?
Barbaric. Nice. No good deed goes unpunished, huh?
Why are you also just ignoring the fact that Ethan Klein outright said the fucking Arabs force the Zionists to do the Nakba? Force them. He talks about Arabs like a Nazi talks about Jews. The Jews, the Arabs, the exact same terminology. And you said nothing about that. But you have a lot of heat for me calling you out for saying nothing about that, don't you?
As soon as I started this live, I got tagged in this. I guess I'll end on this, but yeah.
I like they have no benefit of the doubt from me anymore, and they don't deserve it. And literally the only reason why
they don't. Be ruthless to these people. They are Zionists. They are justifying and enabling genocide. Be ruthless to them as you would to Nazis. It's time to stop pretending. It's time to stop being nice. It's time to stop acting like you can just convince them with reason argument. They are justifying an ongoing genocide. Saying that we should take the gloves off and be nice to A.B. Ayad, who is an underling of Ethan Klein, a genocide propagandist, makes no fucking sense in this situation.
Included the A.B. section in the video is because he was talking shit, saying I say vile things and saying that we had a disagreement. Last time we talked, we had a disagreement, which is not true.
Wow. Okay, Morgan. Let me just say, I didn't mean to pause on your face right here. Let me just say this, okay? I brought you up to defend you. I said that people
it's the same thing every
inhumanely.
time. It's always, I defend you. Come on. I said that people shouldn't say mean things about you. I said that I wish well to your mother. It's never, okay, I'm going to address the fundamental criticism, which is that I do genocide propaganda on the H3 podcast, that I help Ethan Klein to do that on the H3 podcast. Never, ever addresses the actual points. All that he does in place of that is try to make it interpersonal shit, because he knows that he cannot defend himself on the basis of what people are actually angry at him for, which is him enabling Zionist genocide propaganda and defamation against pro-Palestinian people.
Cruel to you. Even though I knew I was going to get shit from the audience, because I know the audience doesn't like you. I said, no matter what she said, if you think she said vile shit, whatever you have a problem with about her, the amount of hate she's getting, the amount of disgusting racism that you have to deal with is not just from...
Yeah, she's getting it from your fans, isn't she?
All of the internet. It's not right. And I was defending you. I don't know what to say other than...
She got banned. Your boss got her banned for 30 days. She almost lost her platform, her livelihood, because of the guy who you work for. You likely helped him to do it as well. You're the researcher. You almost certainly sent him things about her to help her get banned. You people need to remember that, by the way. If Ethan Klein has defamed you when he's trying to get you banned, he's posting like clips of you, this guy's job is to send him those. Something, Frogan specifically, if you're watching this, you should consider that. What you're going to see in the upcoming discovery process from the Kavanaugh lawsuit, which is absolutely going to include Abi Ayad sending defamation to Ethan Klein about him, he did that as well with you. He did it with me. He did it with Hassan. He did it with Denims. He does this with everyone else. And then he comes out like a snake in public, acting like, oh, I'm actually against it. I never said anything bad about you. Remember that.
I don't know. And when I said that we had a disagreement, as a friend, I was trying to show you some dignity by not saying that you messaged me and I didn't respond. Because I'm not trying...
The rest of this is all just interpersonal drama. It's just, yeah, it's interpersonal drama. Oh, no, we said hurtful thing. Oh, Morgan, I wish you the best. I'm not going to speak ill of you. He does not address the fundamental. Not once in this video does he address the fact that his job is to spread Zionist genocide propaganda. Watch.
I think it's productive to be divisive. I have no problems with anyone, except Bad Empanada. Fuck you.
Okay, then come on stream and debate me about this. I won't let you divert to interpersonal drama. I'll force you to stay on topic and explain why you help Ethan Klein spread genocide propaganda, why you say nothing as he rants about the fucking Arabs. You know that, so you never will.
So in conclusion, Bad Empanada, pussy.
Come on, man. You can't be this meek little bitch sitting in the corner in the cuck chair while Ethan Klein spreads Zionist propaganda and ever insult anyone in any way that will ever get to them. Dude, come on. With what you are, you don't insult anyone. Give us a break.
Defend someone who constantly talks shit about me. I tried to defend him, even though it upset my audience. I tried to...
What the fuck are you talking about? I tried to defend him. I tried to defend him. I tried to defend him. For one, you didn't defend him. We went over the clip. You clearly said that he was giving Zionists ammo by being a barbaric Arab. And you're ignoring the fundamental problem here, which is that you sit there day in, day out helping Ethan Klein to spread Zionist genocide propaganda. So fuck off with this shit. You've avoided the point. And you've avoided my video responding to you specifically this whole time. You have not showed a single second of my actual video that you claim to be responding to.
Defend him from being falsely accused of saying that he wants to R-word my mom and sister. And that defense of him was weaponized against me by people who claim to be pro-Palestinian. And lastly, I spoke...
What we're weaponizing against you is the fact that you sit there every single day saying fucking nothing or actually sending Ethan fucking Zionist propaganda articles that he can then cite on stream and saying nothing when he says shit like the fucking Arabs.
Up and said, be nicer to Frogan, even if you disagree with her. And Frogan told me, grow up. That's the conclusion.
He's just making it all about this childish interpersonal shit. Like, oh, you insulted me. I insulted you. You insulted my mom. I insulted your mom. Blah, blah, blah. The only reason that anyone's insulting you in the first place, if they are, is because you sit there in the cuck chair every single fucking week as Ethan Klein spreads Zionist propaganda. You help him spread the Zionist propaganda. You send articles to him to spread Zionist propaganda. As he goes on racist rants about like inferior Arabs, forcing the Israelis to massacre them, forcing them to bomb their hospitals, forcing them to do the Nakba, you say nothing. When he defames people, it's because of your research helping him to do so. That's why people insult you. That's why people don't like you. That's why people are criticizing you. And you mention none of this in your supposed response. How pathetic. Talk about being a pussy.